right, well, it's Monday night. I'm Joe, known to some as Merfolk Joe. At this point, I might as well be known as Soulherder Joe, I guess, since I haven't really played Merfolk in the last few months. Monday night, time for some Soulherder. I've been playing this list here. I'll get into that in a little bit. First of all, I just want to say that I'm happy to be back. I haven't streamed in the last couple of weeks because I was away on vacation. I was visiting family in Spain, and so I was actually gone for about 4 weeks. I think I got like one stream in just after I arrived over there, and just like with the schedule, couldn't find time to sit down and stream. But I'm back home. I'm trying to get back into my normal routine. And yeah, the first stream back now that I'm back in New York. So as I was saying, this is the list that I've been playing for the last few weeks. I've just been playing queues while I was away. I guess, I don't know, I just felt like I didn't really want to jump into a league because I was never sure at first, like if I'd have time to sit down and finish the league. So I would just jump in and play like a queue here, a queue there. As it turned out, I think I actually played like 50 or 60 matches while I was over there. So I might as well have played some leagues. I'm not exactly sure like if my rationale is actually sound. And I've been going something north of 60% with this list. I tried figuring out like the first match that I played when I was over there and then count the win-loss, and it was something like 40 out of 59 if I counted correctly, and 40 out of 60 is 2/3, so that's 66%. So 40 out of 59, a little more than 66 and 2/3, so let's say 67%, which is pretty solid. I've had some nice streaks as well with it, you know, like something like, you know, 10 in a row, something around there. So feeling pretty nice with this list. It still has this of one mind, actually two of them. This is tech that I picked up from a list that Antoine played with recently. Antoine is a big innovator in the space of like ephemerate / blink decks in Modern. He started with Abzan, Blink, way before Ephemerate was even printed. He was using Ether Vial and Flicker Wisp and Collected Company. But I saw one of his lists was playing this card, and I think I'm like the first one on the Discord who was really trying it. And it's just been impressive from day one, particularly in the lists with Noble Hierarch, because you get Hierarch down on turn 1. If you can play a second land and play a snake, you can play a snake and of one mind. Even if you don't have a snake, if you've got 3 mana on turn 2 and nothing better to do, you can just cast of one mind and draw 2 cards on turn 2. So just a pretty strong spell all around. Always happy to see this card in my hand. Other notable inclusions. This list was influenced somewhat by Aspiring Spike's recent lists, which he's obviously had a lot of success with. He got, I think he won 2 challenges in a row or something like that, or maybe he made it to the finals twice in a row. I can't remember. I think it might have been the latter, that I don't think he actually won them. I think he got to the finals twice. Still pretty remarkable. He had 1 Time Warp and 3 or 4 Cryptic Commands, and he was also playing with Mystic Sanctuary, which I know a lot of players like the Mystic Sanctuary. I personally don't love it. It can be a liability entering tapped. Speaking of lands that can be liabilities, I'm still on the fence in this list about Mystic Gate. Excuse me. In general, it's been quite good, so I'm leaning towards keeping it in. It just helps us get that triple blue for Cryptic Command or the double white for Skyclave. Pretty soon, I'm going to need double white for another card. I'm not actually running a Singleton Restoration Angel. I'm kind of testing in advance of the Call Time release, this new card called Glorious Protector. Let me pull it up for you guys. So, first of all, I love the art on this card. What is my computer doing? It's like time to install some updates, I guess. Anyhow, I love the art on this card. It's not your normal Magic art. It's got some style, some character to it. I think actually, at first I thought this was some kind of belt, this red thing, but it's actually the woman's, I guess the angel's hair wrapping around her shoulder and then down her side around this crazy belt thing. Anyhow, this is a very sort of Restoration Angel type card. It costs It's a white card, it costs 4 mana, it has flash, it's a 3/4, it's an angel, so shares tons of characteristics with Resto, but it's not exactly Resto. So first of all, let's talk about the casting cost. 2 white, just like Skyclave Apparition. Going to be a little harder to achieve in a 3-color deck. That's where the Mystic Gate tries to slide in, help a little bit. Noble Hierarch's obviously extremely helpful. Now, this card has the Foretell ability, which is going to be new for Kaldheim. Basically, Foretell is sort of like Morph, except instead of putting the card onto the battlefield as a 2/2 creature, you pay 2 mana, 2 generic mana at sorcery speed, and it exiles the card. So it's not on the battlefield to be messed around with like morph creatures. So we can't like ephemerate things like we could with a morph creature. But basically you pay 2, and then once it's exiled, you can pay the Foretell cost as its casting cost, right? So, bad timing, Lenovo. I'm gonna say no thank you right now. So imagine on turn 2, we don't have any snakes, but we have Glorious Protector. You can pay 2 generic and exile Glorious Protector. And then if you want to, you can flash it in for 3 on the very next turn. So just a nice flexible casting cost, gives us potentially more things to do on turn 2. Let's actually get to the meat and potatoes here. When she enters the battlefield, it says, you may exile any number of non-angel creatures you control until Glorious Protector leaves the battlefield. So now, first off, don't start thinking about any crazy combos with multiples of these because it says non-angel. That's another trait that it shares with Restoration Angel. You can't blink a bunch of angels with this. It's got to be non-angel. Okay, now next thing to note is that Glorious Protector doesn't target anything when this ability goes on the stack. Basically, it's going to enter the battlefield. And I think it works sort of like Urian, where once the ability resolves, it's going to let you then go ahead and pick a bunch of stuff within the ability, and then they get exiled as part of the resolution of the ability. So there's no targeting. So if you flash this thing in and you have a bunch of creatures on the board, the opponent doesn't really know like what they should use their spot removal on, right? It's like, should they get rid of this, like the snake with Death Touch, or maybe Eternal Witness? So, they might just need to let the ability resolve, after which you can sort of choose, depending on the board state. Like, if you're being attacked, obviously you probably don't want to exile your whole board because they don't come back right away. This is where the card diverges from Restoration Angels. Restoration Angel just effectively blinks your stuff. Glorious Protector is more of like a Deputy of Detention type card, where it tucks it away until Glorious Protector leaves the battlefield. Now, we have tricky ways of making things leave the battlefield, namely Ephemerate, also Soulherder, sort of as a backup plan. So imagine you flashing Glorious Protector on your opponent's end step. They're tapped out, can't really interact, and you've got 2 snakes and an Eternal Witness. You tuck them all away in exile, and then immediately, maybe you have extra mana floating around. You can just immediately Ephemerate Glorious Protector. It'll leave the battlefield. Your 3 creatures will come back. They'll all get triggers. Glorious Protector will enter again, and you can tuck your creatures away if you want again. Just like massive value. You're going to get the Ephemerate rebound. You're going to make Glorious Protector leave the battlefield again. All 3 creatures will come back and get triggers again. Glorious Protector will re-enter and can again choose to tuck those creatures away. So I'm extremely hyped on this card. It's not a 4 of or anything, right? Because it's sort of situational. You don't always want to take all your creatures off the battlefield. But I should mention the thing that everybody on Reddit was talking about first and foremost with this card is how it functions as wrath protection, right? So imagine your opponent taps out and plays like a big Ugin, right? And they just go -3 to get rid of your 2 Eternal Witnesses and like 4 snakes. So I think Ugin enters with 7. If they -3, it'll leave it with 4 counters. Flashing Glorious Protector, since it's 4 CMC, it's not going to get touched when Ugin's ability resolves. You're going to take all your creatures, hide them away under Glorious Protector. Ugin's ability resolves, gets rid of nothing, and then you untap, you have a 3/4 Glorious Protector. Maybe you have a Hierarch in hand, you play it, you attack with Exalted, Ugin's dead. Even if it doesn't die, goes down to 1 counter. The only thing the Ugin can do at that point is just like Ghost Fire, I think is what the ability is. It's like basically like a Lightning Bolt. And Lightning Bolt doesn't even kill the Glorious Protector, so I think it could probably polish off the Ugin like the next turn or something. And even if they do get rid of Glorious Protector, your whole team just storms the battlefield again. So another very likely situation that Glorious Protector will sort of get flashed in response to is just spot removal, right? Somebody tries to Fatal Push and Eternal Witness, and we just flash in Glorious Protector and save the Eternal Witness, tuck it underneath the Glorious Protector. Now, this Angel actually has nice synergy with Eternal Witness because if having the flyer around is important for your game plan, you can, when it dies, Eternal Witness will come back and it'll get a trigger and you can just get the Glorious Protector right back from the graveyard. This is kind of neat because it keeps like a flying attacker on the board, but if you're being beaten down by like one big like 12/12 Death Shadow or something, you can chump with the Glorious Protector. The Eternal Witness will come back, you get back the Glorious Protector, and you can just basically chump block forever until you draw cards that will sort of help you improve your position. So a lot of tricks with this card, all the way from like the Foretell ability to the flexibility involved in being able to choose which creatures you tuck away. And then just the massive game-winning power of like ephemerating this card with multiple creatures on the battlefield. So let me stop for a second and say hello to you guys. Hey McDerp, hey Ugly Hood Rat. How many copies do you think it'll be? Well, let's see, Hood Rat, can you ever foretell in the Soulherder deck? I'm not sure I understand the question. Foretell just costs 2 generic mana, and so you know, I think I only have my 2. I can basically leave this card now and go back to the list. You should have my list here in Cardboard Live, so if you need to reference it while I'm in a match, it'll be there for you guys. I'm running a Singleton Restoration Angel to try to test the feel of this Glorious Protector. Like when I have Restoration Angel on hand, let's try to think of it as if it were Glorious Protector and sort of see how amazing or sort of how terrible it performs this evening. So, yeah, for those of you guys just sort of tumbling in, I was saying this list, I've been running it for the last few weeks. I'm sort of around like 67% win rate over the last 50 to 60 matches. Skyclave is a house. Oro's great, like always want to draw this guy. And Cryptic Command is relatively new for me in Soulherder lists. You know, I've dabbled with it from like, you know, half a year or more ago. But in like a focused way, this is like the longest I've been running Cryptic Command. And I've been pretty happy with 2 of them. You don't really always want to have one in hand with this list in particular, just because, you know, we don't always have triple blue. It can be a little bit awkward. Sideboard is pretty much just standard stuff at this point. I'm a big fan of Worship, so it's going to be hard for me to take that Worship out. Also a big fan of Gaia's Blessing. I actually ran into Mill yesterday and crushed them with Gaia's Blessing. Teferi's still an amazing 3-drop to slam on turn 2 with Noble Hierarch. That's sort of the main game plan of this deck. It's like the nut hand, like having like Natural Tron or something. I basically want to have like 2 lands, Noble Hierarch, a Snake, maybe an Of One Mind, maybe an Ephemerate and a Skyclave Apparition, something like that. It's very difficult for a lot of decks in Modern to beat. Because I'm playing Hierarch, turn 2, you know, I'm going to slam a Skyclave and get rid of your Ether Vial, or a Teferi, just tick up and just make it really hard for the opponent to interact for the rest of the game. Or just play a Snake and play an Of One Mind. Have a big board on turn 2 with 2 extra cards in hand. Potentially ramping with Coiling Oracle, ramping with Uro. It's just felt really strong. This list is a slightly modified sort of Time Warp combo focused build, where instead of just playing a bunch of Time Warps, I'm playing Cryptic Command as sort of a pseudo Time Warp that can you know, still be looped with Eternal Witness and Ephemerate, and just effectively shut down the opponent's attacks and spells. So lot of pretty potent things going on. Blade Splicer may be a big question mark for some of you guys, but this card wins games. It stops stupid zombies, gives us extra draw steps, stops super aggressive red decks. All our deck wants is time. Blade Splicer gives us a lot of time. Another cool thing about Blade Splicer is with this one card, it makes a human and a non-human, so it immediately turns on Of One Mind, which needs a human and a non-human. So some nice synergy there. I'm running the full 4 Eternal Witnesses just because I'm really looking to get the combo going. Single Soulherder, sort of required, prerequisite to be running a Soulherder deck, I guess. McDerp, a little lower on Eternal Witness than you've been in the past because you often felt Witness was the best play, was Looping Path, doesn't feel as necessary with Skyclave. Well, obviously a little different in my list, right, since I'm really combo-oriented, trying to just lock opponents out of the game. And, I mean, honestly, like, Eternal Witness getting back Path is excellent, and it still happens in games 2 and 3 pretty regularly. But just the value that this card provides, sort of an anchor for the deck. If I need to sort of outdraw the opponent, getting, like, looping Of One Mind with Ephemerate is pretty busted. Like, I have games where I'll draw, like, 8 cards with Of One Mind, and once this deck has 8 cards in hand, as long as you haven't gotten completely mono-screwed, like, it is very little the opponent can do, because at that point we're going to have removal and counter spells and evasive creatures and Exalted and Teferi, and it's like, you know, Of One Mind is a real nice engine with Eternal Witness, I've found. So for anybody here who doesn't know about McDerp's stream, he had his first stream yesterday. It's twitch.tv/McDerp4, so that's MCDERP4. And he's running a Urian list, so 80 cards with Urian in the sideboard, with a red splash for Avalanche Riders. And in his first stream last night, he just dominated a league, went 5-0, made the deck look really, really good. And I recommend any of you guys who are following me or even subscribe to me to follow McDerp, because he's pushing the Soulherder archetype at least as hard as I am, putting up results, just making a name for the archetype in the format, and that's what we need. So big ups to McDerp for the result last night. And with that said, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get this league started. This is not the list that I want. Time Warp list. And it's funny, I've been playing, as I said earlier, just queues, like 50 or 60 queues while I was in Spain. And with a really nice win rate, I've just been like piling up play points. So I have like 5.5 leagues just like locked in with play points ready to go. So I won't have to pay any ticks for a while. All right, let's do it. Is that right, Paintball? Maybe I'm not using the correct microphone. Thanks for pointing it out. Let me check real quick in OBS. I could be using, let's see, where is my, oh, here we are. No, I think it's actually not the right microphone. So properties, and we're gonna go to my good microphone. Testing. Okay, so hopefully, if it didn't sound that great, hopefully it's better. Paintball, you can let me know. And again, thanks for the heads up. I really appreciate it. That's so funny. I'm sorry. I think what might have made that happen is I teach with my web camera during the day, and like I hate Zoom. It doesn't work really well with It doesn't work really well. Like I like Skype a lot better, and some people think Skype is like an old kind of garbage program, but it's just way more user friendly, I find. Like Zoom, you have all of these like invitations, and you have to go and click and log in, all these different things. So I find that with Zoom, people tell me frequently, like out of nowhere, they'll be like, I can't hear you. And so I had to change my microphone, and I feel like that those settings carried over to
OBS. So that must have been what happened. So sorry for the poor sound quality at the beginning, I guess. Let me check what you guys are talking about in here. Paintball, right? And then McDerp, Twitch has been having some audio issues. Oh yeah, so hopefully this is better, and I'll just go ahead and jump into the first match. This league is finally ending. I think we're gonna have maybe somebody on 50 trophies. I'm not sure if this league it has just been longer than other leagues, but I don't think like people usually have time to get up to like almost 50 trophies. I think it usually tops out in the 20s or 30s. But every time I've looked at like how much time is left in the league, I feel like there's been like 3 months left, and then I look again like 2 months later and it's still like 3 months left, and finally we're on like the last 2 days here. One of those weird hands that this deck can get. Now, Volkswagen has the Mythic Avatar, so a little scary. Opponent's on the play with 7 cards. 5 land is a bit of a bummer. We're not ramping anything out with Hierarch, at least as things stand. I am on the draw. I mean, these are 2 good cards. It's a little slow on the draw. We always want to look for one of these 2-drops. But if I draw a couple of lands, like, I'm just going to be so far behind here. I think I'm going to go ahead and mulligan, guys. It's a really close one for me. But this is significantly better. So it's got the... I'm definitely bottoming the Time Warp. If we draw a land, it's got that line that I was describing of turn 2 Ice Fang plus of 1 Mind. Dig ourselves right out of this... this mulligan. Okay, no turn 1 play. Okay, well, I don't love that basic mountain. It means that our hierarchs are probably going to get blown up. Despite the ephemerate here, I think I'm going to get breeding pool just in case the noble hierarch does get popped. Any forest or island off the top will let me cast the Ice Fang. So, gonna get breeding pool. And now with red on the board, we're really just looking to like draw Uro and have our hierarchs survive. Unfortunately, Lightning Bolt takes the hierarch down. Let's see what the opponent is doing. Okay, Misty Rainforest. Interesting. Yikes. All right, well, getting punished here. Let's see if the opponent has even more Lightning Bolts. Hoodrat, I really dislike that... the dual, oh god, the dual lands always enter tapped. It's kind of a deal breaker for me. Okay, so it's like that, opponent. So it's like a stupid Blood Moon deck, and we do really well against Blood Moon when we know what we're playing against. So I'm gonna scoop it up. Opponent can get their free win in game 1. I'm really just not interested in seeing what else they're doing. I could play it out, but, you know, I'm streaming and don't feel like dealing with this garbage right now. So, almost certainly running creatures with red and green, so let's bring in some paths. Obviously, Celestial Purge and Aether Gust can both deal with a Resolved Blood Moon. We're going to aggressively search up our basics at the beginning. Worship, usually good against these decks, so I think I'll probably bring that in. That was a short first game. So now what are we taking out? Probably not really trying to run the combo since it's like a very fast deck, and particularly Cryptic since it requires triple blue. If we do get Blood Moon, some of these cards can be very dead in hand. I might leave in 1 Time Warp. Let's just sort of see what else I'm dealing with. Cards like Blade Splicer are really good because they have very low specific mana requirements, and they can just hit the battlefield and just stabilize. With Blood Moon, even though they have Lightning Bolts, we want to keep the mana dorks. Teferi is another way to deal with a Blood Moon, but it might not be the most necessary card in the matchup, so I think I just make some space by trimming Teferis. Blood Moon is obnoxious. I think I'll trim Soulherder just because, like, it's a bolt deck. Soulherder dies pretty easily to bolt. We'd rather just blink with Ephemerate. Sky App is going to be great to deal with Blood Moon, and I think I'll probably just trim. Since I'm trimming down on the combo pieces, I can easily trim at least one of the of one mines. Like I don't need to dig as hard into the combo pieces. So we're looking to fetch basics. We're looking to have hands with mana dorks. And that's about it. Let's do it. Hopefully I don't just get rolled by Blood Moon again. But as I've mentioned, once we know that Blood Moon is in the picture, usually just traditionally not super difficult to beat. So this is sketchy. Knowing that it's a Bolt deck with Blood Moon, I don't think I can afford to keep this. So I'm going to mulligan. And this is also sketchy. We're going to keep it. And we'll play the Hierarch. We're going to keep the snakes. And I think the Gust is... so we'll keep this. It's a question of what's more important here. All right, McDirt. Well, thanks for jumping in here, and see you in a little bit, I guess. So the card I'm going to bottom. Of course, the opponent is keeping 7 again. Like both of my snakes, I guess I can probably bottom the Ephemerate. Path in a pinch can actually get me a land. So I am just going to get basic forest here. I mean, it's another very sketchy hand, but it's another mulligan. If we draw another fetch off the top, we should be pretty good to go. If we don't draw any lands, it's going to be rough. Looks like the opponent is on the Bolt plan here. Why not? Jesus Christ. Why am I starting this league like this? You got it, opponent. Okay, it doesn't really do it. I'll save a bit of life and play this tapped. I don't really see like a compelling reason to hold up path here to pay 2 life in case the opponent plays a creature that I might want to path. Let's see how it goes. This is a Blood Moon. Okay, just Klothys. So, okay, another land here, and we're sort of in it. If we can dodge Blood Moon, find a Sky App, you know, we can sort of claw our way back in. If they play a fetch, we can potentially permanently deal with something by gusting. So I think I am going to play the Hallowed Fountain, untapped, pass the turn. Of course, just like Ice Fang plus Path is an option. It's still Blood Moon just wrecks us. I could potentially like flash in a Coatl and then path it. Okay, so they have cracked a fetch. Now, I think this is the first time I've actually done this play. But I think I'm going to shuffle away the Wrenn 6 because it's just more annoying right now. So they put it on the bottom, and it's just getting shuffled away. So that was just a hard removal for the Wrenn 6. This looks like a Bloodbraid Elf, and you know why wouldn't they have Bloodbraid Elf when they hit their 4th land? Opponent's been killing it so far. No reason for that to change now. So I think I'm just going to deal with the Bloodbraid Elf. For the time being. If we draw a land, we can do like Eternal Witness, get back Path. That's decent. Hey Kale, welcome to the stream. It's going okay. So that wasn't the best draw. We really were looking for land. I could of course play Eternal Witness, get a land, at least have access to a white basic. I could also just play a snake and hopefully draw a land. Just been getting wrecked with mulligans and Monoscrew in these first 2 games here. We're nowhere near Death Touch. Opponent's going to have 6 cards in hand. All right. I mean, I play Eternal Witness here. Next, I get a land. I get to play another Eternal Witness next turn, get back Path. Like, hitting land drops is so important. Go ahead, opponent. Oh, they get to get Path here. That's rough. But Aether Gust is okay also, I guess. I could also make a decision to just get like a breeding pool, unless they play Blood Moon, in which case it would kind of stink. But like, I really hate when this deck pulls ahead because we should be good against them. Lightning Bolt, why not? Go into the face. Another Lightning Bolt to get rid of the Eternal Witness. That would explain why they went to the face. I'm blocking here. Not really much else that I can do. I don't think I can afford to play around Blood Moon here. I just don't think it's in the cards. Okay. It's a really good matchup, and we're going to lose it. This guy pings me if I target him. So that's 2 damage plus 1 from Ren and 6 plus 2 from Clothis. I don't even know what can happen, guys. Just gonna play an Ice Fang. I think I'm just toast. Opponent had really good hands. I mulliganed. All right. Ugh, whatever. Frustrating way to lose. But it happens. Let's go on to the second match. That guy's got 27 trophies, huh? It's good. Nice pairing to get things rolling. It's always cool to get paired against very talented opponents, but you know, game 1, I think we got 1 land. It was a shock land, and then we got Blood Mooned immediately. Game 2, also mulliganed and just had weird lands, and the opponent just slammed just haymaker after haymaker. And I think we've been on the draw in both of these now. This is a decent opening hand. Opponent has not mulliganed yet in this league so far. Okay, Inquisition is fine. We typically don't hate playing against Inquisition decks. So, Kale, my list is in Cardboard Live, so you can check it out. Which is worse, Remand, Ren and 6 or Uro? Ren and 6 is definitely worse. Absolutely worse. I think I'm just going to play this Hallowed Fountain here. I mean, Ren and 6 is the more busted card at its mana cost. Opponent really doesn't like these Ephemerates. Now, this could also be a Blood Moon deck, and I am going to play my Prismatic Vista and get a basic Forest on their turn. If we just if we get got by, oh, all right, missing a land drop. So we are going to get, get to crack this Misty Rainforest at least. Opponent almost certainly with black and red has some kind of removal out, but I think we kind of have to go for Soulherder. Another Ephemerate. Opponent did their best to keep these Ephemerates out of my hand, but now I think I kind of, wow. All 4 Ephemerates. So I think it's just another Coatl and hold up Ephemerate. And then I can protect the Soulherder, protect the Witness next turn. Still going to get a basic... Well, if I'm playing... I guess if we see the Blood Moon, then I would get a basic island, even though it doesn't let me cast Eternal Witness. If this is a Liliana and they downtick, we can kill her with... Oh, it's Blood Moon. Okay. So we have no basic white to be able to blow up the Blood Moon with Skyclave Apparition. So let's draw some cards. Hopefully we draw some like a basic forest. Freaking Blood Moons, man. All right. So opponent just magically drew their land right on time. We're getting really wrecked here. I've got 1 more basic forest, 1 more basic island. We've got 6 more snakes. Can't play any of the cards in my hand currently. We've got 4 Noble Hierarchs that can help us with our mana. Got some defense with the Ice Fang Coatls for the time being. See some Pyromancer. Let's see what the opponent discards. Okay, Thoughtseize and Dreadbore. All right. Just passing the turn. So opponent kept 2 lands and then drew running lands. Oh. Not blocking, so might as well attack, I guess. We are just about out of this again. No, Cryptic is not looking good here. Cryptic, I think, traditionally pretty poor against Blood Moon. I mean, we've got all sorts of colors. We could be going nuts with Ephemerates and whatnot, but we're getting got by Blood Moon, so let's go ahead and concede. We'll hope to draw Celestial Purges and Basic Plains, and yeah. Cryptic has been great over the last few weeks. But what are the odds of getting Blood Mooned in the first 2 matches? Veil's going to be good. Purges and Gusts. I'm getting tired enough of Blood Moon that I think I might want to leave in some forces. Maybe I'll just leave in the 2 that are currently there. Let's trim those Cryptic Commands again. Trim one of the Time Warps. Teferi's pretty good in this matchup. You want, like, the most grindy cards possible. Since they're killing a lot of our creatures, Of One Mind becomes harder to cast, so I think I'll go ahead and take those out here. As I said, against the last Blood Moon deck that we just saw, Blade Splicer is really good because it's easy to cast. Skyclave Apparition, just important because it's a way to deal with a Resolved Blood Moon if we have like a couple Hierarchs out, maybe a Basic Plains, or even just shocks that we can... actually, that doesn't really work. Never mind. So I got to trim 2 more cards here. As I mentioned, I want to keep in 2 forces just to hedge against Blood Moon because, I don't know, I should probably play Disciplined and play like I would usually play, but I've just been getting wrecked by the Blood Moons here. And maybe I just need to respect it with this list more than in my previous lists where I wasn't running Things like Cryptic Command and Time Warp. I had like an extra basic planes before switching over to this list, where I swapped out of planes for the Mystic Gate. And again, against a normal black-red deck that's not running Blood Moon, I would traditionally just, or typically, trim some Hierarchs because they just get killed very easily and they don't help us grind. But they are just, a way that can help us actually get mana on the table. So, what am I going to cut here? Maybe we have to trim one of the Sky Apps, just because it's so hard to cast. Soulherder, once again, weak to all the removal. And I'll trim... Sky App is so good, though, but it doesn't really help against Blood Moon because it just wrecks our lands. I'll trim one of them. We're going to try to lean harder on, like, Celestial Purge, Ether Gust, stuff like that. Blood Moon is a jerk. It's all right, though. I mean, it would be fun to see my deck do its thing, but I guess the Magic gods are more interested in showing us the opponent's thing this evening. So this is a decent starting hand. We're going to get basic Forest. A little sketchy because if they kill the Noble Hierarch, which they almost certainly will, we will have no way to cast anything else in our hand with a basic Forest and a basic Plains. But starting off with 2 basics is obviously pretty solid. If we draw into another fetch early in the game, we can get yet another basic. So I'll go ahead and keep this. Can't really ask for much more. Hey, Freedy. Yeah, I've been away. It's the first stream in a while. Playing against 2 Blood Moon decks back to back to start this league off. The opponent absolutely steamrolled me in the first game of the first match. We tried to fight in the second game of the first match, but the opponent just had double Blood Braid. They had Renin 6, double Renin, triple Renin 6 maybe. There's that Fatal Push. And there's my snakes. So we're getting a little bit trolled this evening with the matchup randomizer. All right, take your pick, opponent. So if we do not draw blue mana very soon, we're just going to be straight up out of this thing. All right. I think I kind of have to get a... Now, I can't... I could just get a basic Forest, and then get like a Misty Rainforest, hope they don't have Blood Moon for a turn, and then go get a basic island with Misty Rainforest. That's probably the safest plan. Hierarchs just get killed at this point. I think that's probably the line. Otherwise, I'm getting like a Hallowed Fountain, casting Uro, hoping to draw a basic or something, or just playing Coiling Oracle, hoping to draw an Ephemerate or something. But I think I have to play Disciplined here. I think I'm going to get my second basic Forest, turn on my Eternal Witnesses for the rest of the game, get back a Misty Rainforest, hope that we can dodge Blood Moon for literally just one turn. Somehow, though, the way things have been going, I have a sneaking suspicion that the opponent's got the Blood Moon all lined up, ready to go. Oh, look at that. Okay, Croxa is just fine. Don't really care about Croxa. Actually, it's kind of helpful. I will... Well, you know what? Gust isn't super duper impactful right now. Uro is going to help us get to that second blue mana that we need, and obviously Oracle as well. So I'm just going to pitch the Gust here, and we will say, okay, the opponent is 1 black source away from escaping Croxa. Actually, plus something in the graveyard. Ether Gust might actually be really good against Croxa in the matchup, but we have an Eternal Witness to sort of try to get us there. Traditionally, Uro stomps Croxa. Now, I could just run out a second Eternal Witness and get the Misty Rainforest again. And that would, if we can just dodge Blood Moon for a turn, we would then be totally set on our mana for the rest of the game. I think I have to be disciplined here. I mean, Uro in the grave doesn't do anything if I don't have another blue land. But Uro is, I mean, just against not Blood Moon, Uro is clearly the best play here. All right, I can see it. If we do dodge Blood Moon, which we have to do anyway with the Misty Rainforest line, I can cast Eternal Witness next turn and get the Misty Rainforest then anyway. So let's do it that way. Okay, that's quite nice. Because we don't have a second basic planes in this list, but I can go ahead and just get a shock. And now, if the opponent doesn't have Blood Moon, we are in Uro City. I don't have any other basics that I can fetch with these Windswept Heaths, so they're quite awkward as far as, you know, which land to be hitting. Opponent cracking, so it looks like they're going on the Kroxa plan. I am going to have to. All right. Could have. Oh wait, yeah, I could have predicted this, I guess, and not pitched the Eternal Witness. So this is rough, but we do get to get Uro out. And again, Uro does tend to just body Kroxa. The opponent could have removal for Uro though. It's got green. Got blue, white. I get another Hallowed Fountain. Seems pretty good. Just get more white mana for things like Ephemerate. Okay, let's get things started here. I'd love to play this Noble Hierarch. Maybe I should have gotten more green mana there. I think I'll leave the Misty Rainforest. Might need to get it later. I'm probably being kind of strangely defensive here. We can trim one of these Eternal Witnesses. Man, all this mana. All right, well, let's see what the opponent's working with. Hey, El Rodeo-san. Opponent going to attacks here. If I block, I can't attack, and I feel like I want to attack. So maybe I will just take the 6 for now. Opponent with 3 bolts. Didn't really want to draw land there. Uro, hook me up, please. I would say that counts as getting hooked up. That's pretty sweet, actually. So we will go blue-white with the Sanctuary here. Tap that and this like that. Oh my god. I'm just getting Ice Fang here. I guess I could Gust their Kroxa, but it's just 2 mana. I don't really care about that too much. Oh, I don't think I tapped incorrectly there, but I could have gotten like another Eternal Witness. I guess Gusting is sort of fine. Opponent's just scooping. Yeah, we're pretty dominant spot here. Freedy, what does double blocking do there? So we are already sideboarded. Since we're seeing Kroxa, I think having answers to that thing is kind of important. I think maybe bringing in the paths is reasonable. Do I want the Time Warp in there? Typically when we pull ahead in this matchup, we just stay ahead. I don't necessarily need to take infinite turns. So maybe I'll trim that last Time Warp. I don't know. I've got the 2 Purges. Got 2 Ether Gusts. Resto could be good. Remember, we're sort of testing it as if it was Glorious Protector. I trim 1 Hierarch? I don't know. Kind of like the Hierarchs. I'll trim 1 of the paths. Oh god, why am I not bringing in Ashiok? Nobody said anything. That's ridiculous. Ashiok's like the best card that I have to bring in. Well, this is pretty sensational. If I were on the play, it would be much, much, much better. It's so risky, though. I mean, I'm getting basic Forest. They're going to kill my Hierarch. Opponent's starting with 7 cards in hand. I think I have to mulligan this, as annoying as it is. Yeah, if we were on the play, you play the Vista and probably just say go. Opponent plays Thoughtseize and you just veil it and you're like super far ahead from turn 1. With this setup, though, with the opponent on the play, I don't think I can afford to keep this. It's just too fragile. It's a hard one to mulligan, but I kind of have to do it. All right, you know, this is a little better. We still have to respect Blood Moon, though, so Skyclave, kind of sketchy. I might actually bottom Skyclave, just because we're going to go get, like, green-blue, and then hope to draw some white mana for these 2 cards. You can't keep a 1-lander with a Noble Hierarch against, like, a Fatal Push Lightning Bolt deck. It just doesn't work. So we're going to keep... And we're going to put Skyclave Apparition to the bottom, only because it's a Blood Moon deck. If it were just a normal black-red mid-range deck without Blood Moon, Skyclave is pretty close to the nuts. So I'm going to play out these fetches and not crack them for a little while, if possible. Just in hopes of drawing, like, hopefully a basic would probably be the best. Okay, so this thing kind of has to get pathed. So I'm kind of priced into getting a Temple Garden here, and then following it up with a basic island and a Coiling Oracle, and hopefully we just continue to hit some fetches and whatnot. So this is like kind of like the new Dark Confidant in these decks. I also hate ramping the opponent. I hate all of this. I hate having to get a shock. It's so hard in Modern being on the draw, you know? Like, it just takes a few turns to even have a chance of equalizing. So I need to hit, like, a basic Forest off of this thing. Maybe a basic Plains might even be better. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go Oracle. Ugh, okay, I think we're about to just get wrecked. Like, a Blood Moon before we get lands out is just, like... such an easy way to not play Magic, just lose immediately. All right, Crocs is whatever. This is I'm gonna keep that. We don't have double green, although Eternal Witness is such a good way to sort of claw our way back into the game. Once again, I think I'm bottoming. Pitching the Gust. I could also just pitch Teferi. But Teferi was so good in that last match. Last game, I mean. So I think we have to put the Gust in the yard. I mean, we've got the Witness to get it back later if we really need it. These decisions are so hard. I'm going to do attack, even though I could play Hierarch and attack. Opponent almost certainly has removal in hand. So playing the Hierarch is just like kind of a a fool's errand here. Like I think I'm doing the discipline play, trying to actually hit mana no matter what, but it's just gonna die. So like it's not even a question. And if I do that, I can't play anything else. So really what I have to do here is play the Coiling Oracle. If I hit a fetch, I can go get more green. I can play the Hierarch. Okay, well, we didn't hit green, but we hit a land, which means next turn we can play a Blade Splicer, assuming the opponent doesn't just slam Blood Moon. Could also just play Teferi if that is the play, but opponent clinging. What's happening here? Fatal Push. They couldn't wait. They just needed, I guess, to get things in the graveyard for what did they just clung the Path to Exile, trying to fill up the graveyard for Kroxa. I don't think it's going to happen this turn, though. They're getting pretty close. They could, if they have like another 1-mana spell, they could do it. I think. Target player sacrifices a creature. All right, you got rid of my Coiling Oracle. What else, opponent? Come on, let me get some basics online here. I'm gonna slow roll it to Teferi a little bit, only because it's something that just gets Kroxa back off the table. All right, this is an interesting draw. I can play this, play the Eternal Witness, get back another land, which gets me another basic to help play around Blood Moon, get my stuff established here. But I think the better play is Blade Splicer plus Hierarch. Okay, opponent is going to be escaping Kroxa next turn, almost certainly. So do I even run out the Hierarch or just keep it in hand to pitch and keep the good cards in my hand? It's a hard call here. But I think I keep the Hierarch in hand, which means I should have played the Breeding Pool tapped. Because they're going to play Kroxa, and I'm going to have to pitch something, and I don't want to pitch either of these. And so I won't. I won't play the Hierarch. Now, they make me pitch something. I pitch... Oh, God. It'd be really good to play the Hierarch. Then next turn, I can... If they just escape and don't have removal, then I can pitch the Teferi, play Eternal Witness, get back a Snake, build my board. I've got a Hierarch. So I could play Eternal Witness and get Ether Gust to just bounce the Kroxa. But Teferi bounces the Kroxa safely enough. Whatever. I think expanding my mana is a little more important than keeping both of these cards in my hand. All right, here we go. Three cards in the opponent's hand. They've got to exile everything in their graveyard. Like an idiot, I didn't bring in... Okay, I'm pitching Teferi. Okay, 2 cards in the opponent's hand. We get to untap, get another basic. That's pretty good. We get Ether Gust. We get to Gust Kroxa. Gonna take a little bit of damage when they recast. I could also just... Oh, you know what? I'm gonna get back to Teferi. That's excellent. Get back to Teferi and just bounce this thing. So... I think white might be the way to go here, but green I think is probably just more... Well, white turns on the removal. if they do Blood Moon. All right, I'm going white. Oh, are they gonna cling me? That would be so rough if they just cling right now. Not a lot I can do about it though. Come on, yes. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna discard that, right? So not the biggest deal. That I drew it. I mean, an Uro would be great now. Opponent drawing lands. Can't ask for too much more. Hate throwing those oracles in the graveyard. What did they cling? They clung Ether Gust. I find, okay, what is going on here? 4 mana, is this like a Kalidas or something? Don't be a Damnation, that would be insane. Blood Moon? Okay, what, they're just, oh my god, okay. It is a Blood Moon. Fortunately, we have a Teferi that we can use to deal with that. We also have a clock. 2-turn clock. Is there a reason to keep this in hand? Maybe it encourages them to use a Thoughtseize or something like that. But they would just be dead if they Thoughtseize me, which would be pretty stupid. Can't really use it to do anything, and if they Crocs me, I lose life anyway, so I'm just going to play it. What do you got, opponent? Okay, it's not going to help you. Jesus, it's pretty bad. On the plus side, unless the opponent draws a Wrath, don't think they can get out of this. All right. So we got through the Blood Moon deck, the second one. I mean, usually I feel like I do pretty well against Blood Moon decks, but I should say that relative to my overall experience with Soulherder, this particular build, the amount of time I've been playing it, basically like 3 weeks, just like a drop in the bucket. So I'm still getting used to like triple blue for Cryptic Command. I've got a Mystic Gate instead of a second basic Plains. Maybe it's just going to be harder to get my basics set up. But, you know, there's just like Sky App is double white. A lot of expensive mana costs, tricky mana costs. Okay, that opponent is on 2 trophies, so decent. Freedy, if you saw that I was pretty high on it, wouldn't you have seen my rationale? Like, wasn't I talking about the card? It's Wrath Protection for our creature deck. It can be played on turn 2 if we don't have a 2-drop. It can be foretold on turn 2, reducing its casting cost in subsequent turns. It's basically game winning with Ephemerate. It's just like a combo that just kind of shuts the game like down as soon as it happens. It helps against Ugin out of Tron, which in the past would have just ended any game where it landed. But now if you've got that card, you can save your entire board, potentially not even, or probably not even lose your angels, since all of our permanents are 3, and Ugin would have gone like -3, so the angel will stick around. Again, if you have an Ephemerate, you're just going to get crazy value. It synergizes with Eternal Witness, because if you exile an Eternal Witness and you're attacking with the angel, if they finally kill the angel, the Eternal Witness will enter the battlefield again and can immediately get the angel back out of the graveyard. And then, you know, you've got the Eternal Witness on the battlefield, just doing Eternal Witness things. Maybe you're trying to Ephemerate. If the opponent tries to remove the Eternal Witness, you can save it with the angel again, tuck it away. Again, you're beating down with the angel. If the angel ever dies, the Eternal Witness comes back, gets the angel back. Nice synergy. Effectively, for me, I read the card as a cheaper version of Urian with Flash. Yeah. It's not just about wraths. I just talked for like 3 minutes about the card. So uh any card that can save your entire board as a creature deck that goes wide, while also just being a good clock in the air, can save your creatures from spot removal. How often do you see spot removal? I see it in every single game, basically. Um, Opponent is on Gigantha, which I think typically means Tron, right? So maybe keeping Force of Negation is reasonable here. It's kind of a sketchy hand. Well, anyhow, sorry to seem defensive about it, but I'm just a little bit tired of people thinking that it's not a great card for this deck, because this is the deck that it's pretty much designed to achieve maximum value in. So I'm going to keep this hand, and I'm probably just going to draw like 4 lands. So it's probably Tron. They're mulliganing to 5. Those of you who have been following me, my streams for a while know that I do not force things like maps when Tron mulligans. I always wait for their payoffs. Okay, so at this point, we don't really want to draw more lands, so I will just play a Windswept Heath, probably get a Temple Garden. So Freedy, okay, well this is absolutely turning on their Tron, but as I said, I'm just gonna let it resolve. I'll just counter their Haymakers, that's the plan. Disagree or agree, it's the way that I choose to approach the matchup. It's not just for Wraths, right? So don't pigeonhole the card. It saves creatures from removal. It has massive synergy with Ephemerate. It's good by itself. You can get it down. You can get it exiled early with Foretell. So it's an extra thing to do on turn 2. It's an extra clock in the air. And the massive synergy with Ephemerate, as I've mentioned already, is just potentially game winning. Even if you've got like 3 snakes out, tuck them away, Ephemerate that thing, and you're drawing 3 cards. And then 3 more cards on the rebound. Okay, so we've got plenty of blue cards here, which is nice. I think Uro is kind of our potential path to victory here, so I do want to get that guy in the graveyard. Could Ephemerate Uro right now if I felt like it. I might feel like it. I think I do feel like it. Okay, got 4 lands down on turn 3. That's pretty nice. Opponent has 7 mana though. And this is where we start countering things. Yeah, I mean, whatever. We've got an Ice Fang Coatl down. So I think I'm probably just going to Eternal Witness get back the Force here. So flashing in this, yeah, I'm just gonna ephemerate the snake here. Okay, pretty good stuff. But that Oblivion Stone is kind of threatening us, so I'm just going to get my counter spell. Keep playing defense against the crazy big mono deck. Now, I could ephemerate the Eternal Witness right now and play a land drop. Actually seems pretty good, but the opponent can untap. They can crack the Oblivion Stone on my upkeep after I've targeted with Ephemerate, which is pretty nasty. So then that Ephemerate would go to the graveyard. Stay in exile. So I might just want to, if I Ephemerate now, Crack this. I'm getting a land, playing a land. Not really sure that really helps me enough. We do have an Uro in the yard already. I guess I'll just hold this Ephemerate in hand for the time being. Opponent knows I have the Force in hand. They don't know that I have a blue card. They put Jegantha into hand. Not that scary. They have another tower, 4 cards in hand, including Jegantha. So yeah, I mean, if the opponent wants to crack Oblivion Stone in oh wait, sorry, we didn't have any Ephemerate suspended because I didn't cast it, so that's just fine. Let's see if the opponent goes for it here. So we do potentially have Hardcast Force, Ephemerate, and then sort of Free Force. We're getting pretty close to casting your Uro. They may need to just respect Uro with this Oblivion Stone. We have an extra Ice Fang to flash in. I don't really see a reason to commit more to the table right now. I mean, just playing Uro draws a card, potentially ramps me a little bit, which is nice. Gets another card in the graveyard. Still lets me hold up Ice Fang, though it doesn't let me hold up Hardcast Force. Yeah. All right, we're drawing a lot of gas. Probably should have, well, yeah, should have tapped differently. That was a little bit loose. Now I don't have Ice Fang up, but I think Ice Fang was the card I was going to pitch anyway. Yeah, this is a little rough. So now I can Ephemerate the Eternal Witness to just buy back and then flash this thing in on the upkeep to catch the rebound. That seems okay. If I have it in hand. If I don't have it in hand because I have to pitch it to, I could just get a blue card back in hand. I think I'm just going to Ephemerate and get back an Uro. Does that make sense? Got exactly enough stuff in the graveyard right now to escape Uro next turn, which seems pretty good. So I probably don't want to grab something from the yard right now. Maybe I'll just hit the Ice Fang Coatl. This is so tricky. I guess I get it. All right, well, now we have an extra blue card to pitch to Force, which is nice. I can flash in the Coatl and catch the rebound next turn. Oblivion Stone. I think that's fine. I don't really care about Oblivion Stone. I think that's also fine. Nothing I can do about it anyway, so. So the question is whether I want to flash this in. I think I do want to flash it in. I can play Soulherder, Eternal Witness, good cards. Cryptic is going to be handy eventually. I think for the time being, I do have a couple of Ceremonious Rejections in the sideboard right now. Just gonna block this stupid Wormcoil Engine. It just makes their Oblivion Stone so much worse. All right. I think we can just keep chilling on Uro for the time being. Just get some value down. Make the opponent pop this Oblivion Stone. What can I can play a snake and still hold up Cryptic Command. So maybe I just do that. Do I want to crack first to not draw more land? I could also just force the crack on the Oblivion Stone right now. Is that really good? I think that seems okay, actually. Kind of like that line. We're like so far ahead on resources. All right, opponent. Do it to it. Now, I can crack this and get, well, I can't get more green because I don't have the basics. But I can play snakes. I can also get white and play a Blade Splicer. That seems okay too. Yeah, I don't know. Blade Splicer plus Beatdown seems okay. Okay. Another Oblivion Stone. Again, I don't really care about those things so much. Oh, they have this Gigantha, right? So, okay. What does that do? Oh, it adds mana, right? Okay. Okay, opponent is officially empty-handed. So we are officially in control of this game right now. Okay, so what are we going to do? I think we want to get some flying beats going at some point. I could get Uro down. Obviously, always a good option. I think I'll probably start with that. Oh, they have the Oblivion Stone still. So maybe I just go Eternal Witness. Eternal Witness, get the Sky app, and just force them to crack the Oblivion Stone again. Gets rid of their Gigantha. But if I'm going to do that, I should probably attack with these things first. Get a little 1 point of damage in. Now, this is a situation where tucking your team away with the Angel would be awesome. So, Freedy, I hope you're seeing this situation against Tron. Now, Cryptic could probably do some tricks here, but the opponent's got so much mana that they're always going to have Oblivion Stone up. So, I feel just fine holding up force while just dealing with this Gigantha, dealing with the Oblivion Stone, effectively just trading an Eternal Witness for their board. Still have a counter spell in hand. Okie dokie. The Angel seems more than decent, I think. Seems pretty fantastic. So this is like a time warp loop, basically. Yeah, opponent just conceded. All right. So that was game 1. I'm a little confused, I guess, because I haven't sideboarded yet, right? Ceremonious Rejection. Another Force. I like Ashiok. It helps a little bit. It's a little slow on the draw, but you bring in anything that can help, I think. We are trying to ramp and then combo out Tron. That's how we beat Tron. Skyclaves are pretty poor. Obviously, the Angel Glorious Protector is excellent against Tron in like every which way, basically. And it's a matchup we need a lot of help in. So, Teferi, probably not super useful in the matchup. I don't think it. So take it out. Soulherder's part of the combo. If I can get an Eternal Witness and a Soulherder down. We are digging pretty hard, so Of One Minds are going to stay in. Since it's not the actual Angel, I think I can go ahead and take this Resto out. But we can say definitively that this would be a matchup where the Angel would shine. And I don't want to rush, but I'm pretty sure these are good decisions. Taking out the 2 Teferis and the 2 Skyap, since everything in their deck is pretty high mana cost. It was pretty nice forcing their hand on those Oblivion Stones, but also just like escaping Uro, it would have been enough to force their hand on the Oblivion Stone. So we're gonna leave our Uros in. It's not really a life gain matchup, but Uro is also just great at ramping us and drawing cards. So. Okay, opponent starting with 7. I mean, we have to keep this, but little scary. We don't have any ramp. We could potentially ramp with the Coiling Oracle. That's what we're sort of banking on. Like a Force would be awesome. We don't want to draw more lands, so I think I'll go get a Temple Garden. A Hallowed Fountain. Follow up with like this basic forest. I don't know. So they're going to have Tron, and we're going to lose unless we draw a Force, either on our draw step or with the Coiling Oracle. Well, that's not it. I might need to thin the deck some more, so I will just... I guess I want to ramp, but at the same time, not really, because it's crunch time, and we need to hit a Force. Ugh. All right. Well, GG. Let's hope that it's a Wormcoil Engine. Karn. Gonna go get Torpor Orb. Sundering Titan. Sundering Titan wrecks us pretty freaking hard. Okay, we've got 2 pieces of this potential lock here. The problem is Sundering Titan's going to blow up 2 of our lands. I can play Snow-Covered Forest right now, and then they'll only be able to blow up the Hallowed Fountain and the Forest. Then we're stuck just kind of chump blocking for a long time. I mean, it's a very, very tough spot to be in. I could also just run out Blade Splicer, potentially put more pressure on Karn. So I mean, what are the options here? Just like keep getting lands, like with Eternal Witness, get back a land right now. That seems okay. I've also got a lot of lands in hand, and So Blade Splicer are not going to be able to really attack through the Sundering Titan. So next turn, well, I'm going to lose 2 lands, so I'm going to be able to play like a Snake next turn, not too much else. You just keep getting back snakes just to block and block and block all day. Got to play sort of fast, though, because it's looking like this one's slipping away, and I need time to play a game 3. Last zone. Why not? Taking Karn up. No white mana anymore, but I can play a land, play a little chump blocker, hopefully hit some kind of white mana. Well, we hit land, which is kind of amazing because now like Cryptic is becoming like a possibility, though the opponent is almost certainly going to get liquid metal coating and start killing my lands. Walking Ballista is also pretty decent, huh? All right, guys, I think we're going to pack this one in. A 4/4 Walking Ballista is going to be pretty impossible to beat. You know, I'll just like take my draw step. I don't think I have any paths in the deck right now. I don't bring them in typically. We will be able to tap their team and draw a card if we want to. Well, Mystic Gate is kind of fun. But the problem is they're going to keep pumping this Walking Ballista, right? So, could play Blade Splicer, try to ephemerate. If they want to kill, like really kill it. Well, no, I'd need double white, and that would be weird. Maybe double snake is fine. They've got like 8 mana right now. They can pump it twice. We've got Death Touch, but then he would kill a bunch of our lands again when it dies. But you know what? Like I'm gonna fight a little bit. Let's say yes. Let's pass a turn. See what the opponent's working with. I mean, we're getting pretty wrecked, but it's not going to take me much time. Take much time off my clock to just cast a couple of spells here. They get to deal 7 damage with the Sundering Titan and then just ping me, I think. So we could probably get out of this turn alive, but only barely. Yep. Oh no, they get to pump it again. They had 4 extra mana. Okay, GG's. Well, that's pretty nutty. I think it was turn 3 Tron. They got down Karn. They got a Sundering Titan. Sundering Titan's always going to be pretty hard for us to beat. We really want to be keeping hands with like ramp. I don't think I'm going to change anything. Could keep like a Path or Sky App to deal with a Walking Ballista. I think we're just trying to get out ahead of that. I mean, we won game 1 against Tron. It can be done. Two lands, 2 hierarchs. Too much mulliganing this league. All right, well, we can make this work. I mean, rejecting like a Sundering Titan is pretty sensational. We are going to bottom 1 of the Ephemerates, keep the snakes around. We took out the Sky Apps, so you don't really need double white so bad. Opponent's keeping 7. We're going to keep here, and as I said, bottom 1 of the Ephemerates. So I could get like blue-white, or maybe blue-green, and then blue-white. Maybe double green might be more important than... Yeah, I'll get green-blue here. And then green-white. So ramping with the Coiling Oracles would just be a really great way to get closer to. So that's why I got green and blue here, is to be able to cast Coiling Oracle and to be able to potentially cast Eternal Witness soon. So we've got two pieces of a combo, or a lock here, I should say, with Ephemerate and Eternal Witness. So the ramping with Coiling Oracle, so good. That puts us so much closer to establishing a lock, because Ceremonious Rejection could just be good enough. So, you're going to have to use this mana now. An Expedition map. I think that is probably rejectionable. But you know what? I'm just going to counter whatever they cast. Not so big of a deal. Let that resolve. And I will get a basic Plains, as stupid as that sounds. Basic Plains is pretty bad, but we need to try to ramp. That's what the game plan is here. So a land in the top two cards would be just amazing. Okay, we did it. We got a land. We're going to go Eternal Witness, Ephemerate, hold up. I don't have another breeding pool. So I can go get like Hallowed Fountain for Ceremonious Rejection. Could also just get down Soulherder here and hold up Ceremonious Rejection. That seems completely fine as well. Kind of like that a little better, actually. Ramp. Well, it sort of counts. A little slow. Oh my god, they just had the mine, huh? So Karn is going to get rejected. We're going to get a breeding pool. Not a breeding pool. Have a breeding pool. Going to get a Hallowed Fountain. Life total's pretty low. I guess we've been hitting it pretty aggressively. Opponent does have a lot of cards in hand. Unfortunately, we don't really have a choice with this. Well, we do have a Soulherder on the table. If the opponent just like kills a Soulherder, that's pretty rough. But, you know, maybe not the end of the game necessarily. I feel like they're probably just holding up to crack Expedition map, but let's see how it goes. The fact that they're thinking about it makes me think that they either have a Dismember or a Spatial Contortion or something. Okay, we do need to play Eternal Witness to get back rejection. That's the way that we don't just lose the game. I'd love to get Ephemerate back, but we have Soulherder. If we get to our end step, we get to get it back anyway. But we're not really hitting our land drops, which is pretty rough. We haven't really fallen behind on the curve, though, because we did ramp once with Oracle, I believe. Okay, Blast Zone is a little slow. They put 2 counters on it right away. Fair enough. Matic Sphere is going to resolve. Expedition map is going to resolve. Okay. We are going to Ephemerate the Coiling Oracle. Cryptic is pretty nice, but I need land for that. Yeah, just getting the ephemerate is more important here. So ephemerate. So many counterspells. Opponent is on the destroy my board plan, though. Actually, they're on destroy my 3-drop plan, right? So we've got to play some spells just to empty out our hand. So let's try to get our mana established. Let's play... so we want to hold up rejection. So let's go green like that. And I can still cast a snake. Haven't played a land yet, so I might as well play a Coatl, I should say. Oh, I didn't leave up. Ugh, that was so stupid. All right, well, we still have a counter spell in hand, but it looks like the opponent's just planning on tapping out on their turn. Man, can't hit lands here. I'll just pitch Uro, I guess. Seems decent. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay. Doing this the hard way. Ramp, Little Coiling Oracle. Ramp. Okay, let's see. All right. Three Coiling Oracles in hand. Plus, we've got Uro. I can cast Uro and still have up Force plus Ceremonious Rejection. So I think getting Uro down is probably pretty clutch. So if I tap blue, blue, green, green like this, I've got up Ceremonious Rejection plus Force. Okay. Yeah, just pass the turn. Let's go, opponent. What do you got? That's fine. Karn is gonna get forced. And whatever else they cast is gonna get rejected. We've got Uro on the board and the opponent scoops. Soulherder beats Tron every time, I guess. All right, that makes me happy. Let's draw some cards. Come on, let's go. Let me draw some cards. Sometimes Magic Online doesn't let you draw your next cards. It just kind of like conks out. Thanks, Hoodrat. Yeah, you guys were pretty quiet in the chat for a little while, but I guess it was just tense, huh? Let's see if... So far, my two first opponents had trophies. Let's see if this guy has some trophies. They do. They have 13. So I think between my first three opponents, they had 27 plus 13, 40 plus, I think this guy just had 2. So 42 trophies between my first three opponents. Yeah, those matches are why I play this deck. It's just like you get to play against all the broken stuff, and then your versatile deck, you get to make good decisions and just get there, you know, to grind your way through everything. All right, first time we won the die roll. That's great. Unfortunately, no 2-drops, and I don't like this hand enough to just keep it, so I'm going to mulligan. This is significantly better. Opponent starting with 7. We are going to keep, and I think out of all of this, the Ephemerate is probably the least important card. Against an unknown opponent, they could have lots of spot removal, make the Ephemerate pretty difficult to sort of time correctly. I might just want to play Eternal Witness and get back like a land on turn 2. So gonna keep, put Ephemerate down, say done. Just basic forest here is fine. We've already come up against Blood Moon twice, so getting a basic is probably prudent. If we're playing against a deck that happens to not have spot removal, we'll have some time to get off the ground here. But if they do have removal for the Hierarch, we'll have to claw our way into the game with Coatls, try to hit another land. Okay, is this Storm? So, drawing that snake makes me think I might be better off just playing a land and playing Coiling Oracle, potentially ramping. Eternal Witness getting back a land doesn't ramp. It does get down one of the pieces I need to actually combo off with Time Warp and Ephemerate. It could also just be Blue-Red Prowess. Strange that they wouldn't just pop the Hierarch, though, there, or play a 1-drop. So I'm thinking it's Storm. And if it's Storm, we probably just want to draw cards, get to those Force of Negations, those Cryptic Commands. So I'm going to pay... I don't know if paying the 2 life was correct there, but if we draw an Ephemerate, I'll feel good about it. Or another Hierarch. Or Of One Mind. Hey, now, you guys get to see... Are you guys watching? Look at this card. Draw 2. Get there. Hit the Cryptic. We've got mana for it. That was awesome. Of One Mind coming in clutch. Basic Mountain... What do you got, opponent? Is Monomorphose into Entity? Wow, no plays. This is weird. Well, at this point, we're just holding up all sorts of instant speed shenanigans. Okay, guys, we're sort of doing it here. I don't know what this deck is doing, but if it's not... Like, Storm needs to jam their cost reducer on turn 2. I would really hate it if they tried to kill Noble Hierarch. I might have to, like, counter it and bounce one of their lands or something. Come on, just pass the turn. You gonna braid something? Okay, if they tap out and we draw land, okay, they haven't done anything. So, maybe I just play 2 of my snakes. Seems okay. Draw that 5th land. Or 5th mana source. Come on, give me that land. I don't think I'm going to go for it with the opponent not tapped out. Because they can just remand and then storm off on their turn, and I'll be sitting there like a dummy with a Cryptic Command in hand. So we've got Cryptic plus Ephemerate up here. Of course, I need to get like another island with this Vista, but it's a little bit awkward. What do you got, opponent? Salundi Vision. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can reveal an instant or sorcery and put it into your hand. Sort of fine. I can just counter whatever they draw. Serum Visions. Potent. A potent spell to draw with a 3 mana instant spell there. Come on, opponent. Tap some lands, please. Okay, that's going to resolve. This is the weirdest game I've ever played against Storm. They kept 7, and they played no spells until the end of turn 3. They went top and bottom. Come on. Use that blue mana. Cast your other Serum Visions. You know what? If I just... this is tricky. If I try to, like, bounce one of their lands, like, bounce the blue land here, they could, like, remand it or something back to my hand. I untap, I cast Time Warp. I don't have enough mana, unfortunately, since to do the combo right away, since I don't have an Eternal Witness on the board. So I think I just go for these Ephemerates, honestly. I mean, I'm gonna ephemerate or try to ephemerate the Coiling Oracle, and if they come off and we ramp, it might put us in a position where we can try to combo off. I'm gonna wait to crack the Vista. Okay, opponent let it go. Come on, those lands. Let's get some shocks and some fetches up in here. Okay. Opponent really tanking about this here. They let the first one go. A little bit weird. Okay, they let the second one go. There's an Uro. I mean, a Force would be so good off the top here. I'm going to crack this now. I'm going to get more blue mana. Okay, that's one land. So at this point, if I hit another land, I can go like Eternal Witness on the board and still hold up Cryptic Command. Oh my goodness, yes. All right. Okay, so basic green here. Let's attack first, I guess, right? Get in with both of these snakes, just in case they feel like killing one of them. That'd be weird at this point. They know I have an Uro. It's a little bit questionable if I don't cast the Uro that they know that I have. I think they might also know that I have like some of these other cards in hand. Uro, Oracle, of One Mind. Opponent could just have another Remand in hand, which would probably get me. So I think I counter this. Is that right? You guys want to weigh in here? It's always so tricky knowing what to counter against Storm. Or do I just wait for them to go like Past in Flames and then Cryptic that or something? Why don't I I could Cryptic their next spell and bounce the goblin or something like that. I feel like I kind of want to let the goblin resolve. If they remand the cryptic, then I'm just sitting on my hands, basically. If they have a remand, they have a remand. I mean, let's let the goblin go and see how it goes. That can go as well, I guess. If they go for like if they go for goblins, like empty the warrens, then I'm pretty sure I just win with cryptic command. I mean, sorry, with time warp. Yeah, I have to counter this now. Although I could let it resolve and then counter whatever they try to cast. Maybe that's better. I think I'm just going to try to counter this. I'm not going to get too cute about this whole situation. Hey. If they had Remand, they would have certainly cast it there, so I think shields are down here. They're gonna kill my hierarch. That's difficult. And probably the rest of my creatures. I can still get down Witness and get Ephemerate back, and if they don't have a win next turn, then I can still just take infinite turns. I can also, well, I don't have more green, so I can't cast Hierarch. Oh, and I think getting down Hierarch is important because it's part of my combo. It does take up all of my green mana. I can go Ephemerate. I might as well just take the extra turn here now, actually. So let me play Hierarch and take the extra turn. And now, if I draw land, I think I've got it. No land. But I can get Cryptic back, which seems decent, right? But I do need Ephemerate for the loop to actually win. So this is a difficult situation. I kind of have to go for the win. They already spent their Grape Shot. Oh, you know what? They can just go like Past in Flames next turn. They have the Goblin in hand. Maybe I have another Eternal Witness, so I have another shot at drawing. I have another shot at drawing a land and just comboing off that way. Oh, but you know what? I need 2 more lands if I want to get Ephemerate plus Time Warp, I think. But opponent could, of course, just kill the Hierarch, go to their second main, and try to do stuff. So I should have probably tapped. I should have thought it through a little bit more and tapped the Hierarch for the mana and left up all of my lands. Opponent playing a Steam Vent, thinking about whether they want to tap, enter tapped or untapped. Really thinking about it. And they do untapped, so pretty spicy. Now, if I counter this thing, you know what? I'm going to follow the same path I did last time. They didn't have a remand a second ago. So I doubt they're going to have a remand this time. And I think I'm just going to try to... I'm going to bounce that thing and draw a card. Are we getting remanded here? Is that what's happening? Are we getting bolted? Oh, they're going for their gifts, I guess, here, which could matter. But forcing them to do this now, I think, is actually pretty good for us. It could be good for us. We are slowly pulling ahead in the sort of card advantage race, but Gifts Ungiven is going to sort of put them back in it a little bit. Why don't we put Grape Shot in the graveyard, and we can also put Past in Flames in the graveyard, so they only get to cast it once. I'll give them the rituals. That's sort of fine. Push comes to shove, we can just play another Eternal Witness and get the Cryptic Command back. That's a combo piece right there, ladies and gentlemen. So if the opponent doesn't have a bolt or something, I think we just have closed the game out here. They seem to be F6'd, which is pretty hot. Good for us. Of course, if I go for it and they have the removal. Okay, let's do this. Time Warp. Always feels good comboing out the combo deck. It's possible they have a remand in hand but can't cast it because they don't have the Goblin anymore. All right, this is a 2-turn clock as things stand. Okay, opponent doesn't want to see it. That's the first infinite turns combo that we've had this league. We did win a game against Tron by looping Cryptic Command, which is effectively the same thing at a certain point in the game. Okay, so I do bring in Paths. And I do bring in Purges because they're good against... Well, the goblin obviously, but also they go for that enchantment sometimes. Veil is great because it actually shuts down gifts. For those of you who don't know about that interaction, gifts targets us, and it's a blue spell, so Veil will counter it. Ether Gust, not the best. Force, obviously, and Ashiok, obviously. Worship, not good enough, and yeah, that'll pretty much do it. Storm's going to bring in stuff like Abrades, maybe some bolts if they have it. Maybe this enchantment that I'm talking about as like an alternative win condition. If they expect me to hate against their storm, they're going to bring in. I'm blanking on the name of the enchantment. We are trying to combo them out as well, though, so I do want to keep my combo pieces in. I'd like Sky Apps. Uro is kind of unnecessary. I'm going to take those guys out. We also don't really need like to be clocking them. Like if we combo them out, we're just going to do it, or we're just going to win with like Coatl beats. I don't think Blade Splicer is essential. Of One Mind is good against matchups where they don't have tons of removal, because we're going to be that much more likely to have a human and a non-human on the board. And again, without removal, I think Soulherder is just fine. Maybe since we're bringing in the Paths and the Purges, the Sky app. No, I like Sky app as removal to interact with their combo. Resto can come out. Maybe Of One Mind can get trimmed. Maybe 2 Of One Minds can get trimmed. We've got a lot of card draw anyway. I want to keep in all the combo pieces, since that's our like strongest win condition in this matchup. And the last card that I want to trim is maybe one of the Paths. It can be a liability ramping them a little bit. I've got the Purges. I've got the Skyclave Apparitions. Aria of Flame is absolutely the card I'm thinking about. Thanks for jumping in with that. Well, it doesn't have blue mana, which is really weird. Opponent's mulliganing. It's half the way to Skyclave Apparition. Veil does shut down Gifts Ungiven. So I think since this hand just needs like any fetch to just be pretty awesome, I think I'm gonna keep it. It doesn't have a force. No blue mana makes it pretty sketchy. But we can draw lands. We can draw hierarchs. Another Veil would not be the worst thing in the world. Path, Celestial Purge. Amazing. So good. We'd still like to draw more lands, so I will wait to play the fetch. I'll just play that Temple Garden now. If they run out their cost reducer, it's rough for us since we haven't ramped yet, but we do have instant speed snakes, so I'll probably pass to them holding up Ice Fang plus Veil. In case they like storm off and cast gifts, we can counter it with Veil. So a path off the top of Mystic Gate doesn't give us the mana that we need for Snake. So I'm just going to play Prismatic Vista with the plan of getting blue mana to flash in the Snake. Hopefully they won't just win this game. Win this turn, and then we can untap and try to Skyclave the Baral. And we can see Mystic Gate actually doing a nice job here, because with Temple Garden and Island, we wouldn't have double white for Skyclave, but Mystic Gate is going to help us filter that mana. All right, so there's the Serum Visions. If they go like Ritual, Manamorphose, Gifts, that would be like sort of amazing for us because they went bottom top there. Looks like they hit a land. Played it tapped. See if they get in for their 1 with Baral. They're taking it. Makes sense. They could be holding up Remand, which would be really rough for us if we tap out for Skyclave Apparition. So I don't really want to do that. Be nice if they just remanded now, like remand my Snake. That would be like the best possible situation. Or just like draw a force here. All right, we've got a bunch of counter spells in the deck. I don't think I can go for the Skyclave Apparition here, because if they have the Remand, we just get wrecked. They did top one of the cards when they scryed with Serum Visions, so they're probably pretty close to going off. Veil of Summer is our only opportunity to sort of stop a Gifts Ungiven. Now, they don't necessarily need Gifts Ungiven to win, but it is one of their sort of win condition pieces. So I think I might just go land Coiling Oracle, hold up Veil / potentially Path if I draw it with Coiling Oracle. Of course, if they have Remand now, they'll have it next turn. But it's one extra mana that they'll have to spend next turn. They've got 4 cards in hand. How scared should I be of Remand? And if they have Remand, that's one card less likely in their hand that will actually combo off. That was a very Long Islandish off. You know what? I think if they have Remand in hand, I don't know. I'm just going to go Snake here, I think. And then next turn, I can go like Skyclave plus Veil if we do get another turn. Ephemerate's a card. Now that sort of explains why I might be leaving up my mana here. Maybe they just topped Aria and they're just going to tap out for Aria. That would be pretty sensational for us. Of course, you know, they usually cast gifts on our turn anyway, so leaving up the green like this. Okay, Ritual. They're going gifts, I think. Oh, pieces. Well, I can't do anything about that, so we'll let that resolve. I see they have a Grape Shot, and let's see what they put into their hand. They put a Lightning Bolt and Grape Shot into their hand. Good cards. Aria of Flame. So we will be able to deal with that, which is quite good for us. That's gonna resolve. I gain a bunch of life. Opponent does not have a land to play. It's pretty awesome for us. Yeah, it's ghost blocking time. This Coiling Oracle is gonna ramp us. Soulherder is a good card. You know what? I could have held this Ephemerate to try to, not to try, to kill both of these things, which would have been sensational. So maybe I'll just draw another Ephemerate. Well, Path kind of gets there. And by kind of, I mean, it just does. So we are going to make 2 white, and then we're gonna blow up this Aria of Flame. Kaboom. And then we're just gonna kill this thing now, so it doesn't reduce their costs next turn and they don't remand it or anything. All right, well, you know, it's good defense. Opponent could still get us, I guess, but those are 2 very important pieces. We have 28 life, so it might be a little bit harder for them to kill us. 2 of the cards they have in hand are Lightning Bolt and Grape Shot. The other two have to be, you know, combo pieces if they're actually going to get somewhere. We've got a witness to get back path. This is what you like to see, like, you know, nothing on board and then just kind of like digging. You know, it could just bolt something, play grape shot, try to kill my board. That's totally fine. It'll give them like a 3/3. We've got tons of cards in hand, plenty of mana. They went top bottom there. But if they're spending cards, and in particular like grape shot, just to deal with a few dorks like this. Yeah, all right, so they're going for it. That's totally okay. I think I'm going to follow up just probably with Snake and Soulherder. It's an undisciplined turn from the Storm player. Of course, Storm can always just go off at the drop of a hat, so not sure what I exactly want to do. I could continue to hold up Veil, but remember that they do tend to cast Veil on our turn. That land is one fewer cards in hand that they could do something with, but they played it untapped. That means what? Opt or Lightning Bolt. Force is really, really good. You know, I'm going to sort of say whatever to a potential Lightning Bolt. And I'm just going to, as I mentioned, play Soulherder plus Sneaky Boy. We've got Force up for their turn. 3/3 is really not threatening at all after they gave us that 10 life. Try to F6 to the end of the turn. All right, so what? They've got a Bolt, whatever. That leaves them on one card. We're going to have 4, potentially 5 cards in hand, a stocked graveyard, a counter spell with a blue card to pitch. Seems decent. Cost reducer, whatever. Pieces of the puzzle. That's pretty counterable. I can just play Eternal Witness and get back Force next turn. I'd rather them not get 2 cards, so we will do it that way. Of course, this puts me in a spot where I want to draw a blue card or a land. We also have Counterspell with Veil of Summer against particularly Gifts Ungiven. I kind of want to get back Ephemerate and sort of start the value train. Like, draw a blue card here, get back Ephemerate, Ephemerate to get Force. I already drew the blue card. So now, as I mentioned, we can go make double white here. Don't really need double white, but we do need green, 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 white. I'd like to leave up green. We can't. Oh, if I make white here, let's go like white, white with blue. And then I go green, green. I can do Ephemerate and still hold up Veil. Not that I necessarily need to leave up Veil, and I could have Ghost blocked here, but we'll see how it goes. Opponent fighting the good fight with this 3/3 illusion token. Okay. See if they try to fight over this Ephemerate rebound. Okay, so I'm just going to Ephemerate, get back Path, and just Path the Baral right away. I can hold up Hardcast Force. So I definitely don't want to play the Coiling Oracle because that's the blue card to pitch to force if I need to, but I could play like an Eternal Witness to try to get ahead of this board state. I think that's probably like the better line. So I think I'll just play Eternal Witness and get back like Soulherder. Set up some nice plays for the next couple of turns. It's pretty over. Opponent's got one card in hand, so we don't know exactly what that card is. Now, I will play the Temple Garden untapped because our life total is not threatened, and we do have Veil up, which is the most efficient way to counter like a Gifts Ungiven. Opt is fine. Veil of Summer has us also covered on like a remand on our like force. Attacking is a little bit overzealous because we have a much faster clock at this point, so kind of weird opponent. But you know, Storm players aren't necessarily the best like combat mathematicians since it's not usually what their main game plan is. They're gonna like ninjutsu this illusion token. Mystic Gate has been pretty cool so far in this game. I've enjoyed it a lot in general. And of course, I can always just get back a path whenever I want to deal with this illusion token. Ashiok is pretty backbreaking here. One's got the one card. Oh, I'm sorry. You said, is this game one? I thought you said, I read it really fast. I thought you said, is this game over? The game is effectively over, I think. But no, it's game two. I won game one with infinite turns. And welcome to the stream, Dryad. I haven't seen you in a little while. I'm just going to slam this Ashiok, and I will happily force it. Force any kind of counterspell. Oh my goodness, so good. Mill myself. I took the Oros out, so no reason to mill myself, I don't think. Just mill the opponent. And I think that's probably all she wrote at this point. Like, I've got the ghost blocks, I've got the counterspell, I've got the veil to counter their counters, or to just counter Gifts Ungiven. Currently 2-1 in the league, I think, this being the fourth round. I got just destroyed by Ponza in round one. I mean, I should say, like, it was Ponza that wrecked me and some pretty unfortunate mulligans. So we have Ephemerate, Veil, and Force up. Opponent disconnected. Looks like they are trying to get reported. When people disconnect in losing positions, I report them every single time. It's like the worst manners possible. Yeah, roping in arena, right? So maybe I'll look for this guy and just send him a little message, see if I can get him. Oh, he lost connection to the game, which means he might have just left the client altogether. But I guess I'll see. Let's see if we can find Mr. N3TO. Oh, he rejoined the game. My faith in humanity is restored. Yawn. I'm going to ask my opponent if they're thinking. Thinking? And we'll see if they respond cordially, or maybe they're jumping into like another game or something. Nope, just going to combat. Fair enough. I suspect. Oh, wait, they didn't attack. Interesting. They just played a land, and yeah, I don't really have to play anything here. I guess I'm gonna try to ephemerate one of my eternal witnesses. Get back a path. Just get rid of this stupid illusion, so I can start attacking. Okay, opponent's conceding. Nice. So one of the things I love about Soulherder, apart from like the fact that it's like a brewer's paradise and you can just play whatever cards you want, is that you have the tools to combat like any kind of strategy, right? So like we've played against, we beat Tron, we beat Storm. I forget what. I know we got killed by Ponza, but then we played against another Blood Moon deck right out. Oh, it was a black-red mid-range deck, which we're also really good against. We're solid against aggro, particularly in games 2 and 3 where we can bring in worship and more removal. We've got 3 Oros for life gain against aggro. Yeah, the counter spells to help us against combo. It's just such a well-rounded strategy, and I particularly love this build that just has the kind of oops I win button of like time warp / cryptic command wins. So yeah, things going pretty well so far. 3-1. I will jump into the final match in just a second. Gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back. So I think it was like a week or 2 ago. I was playing against, I forget what deck it was, but the guy, I was in like a completely dominant position. It was like an end step, and I was playing against Burn. It was against Burn. It was their end step. They had, I think, 1 card in hand, but they were tapped out. And I ephemerated like an Eternal Witness to get back a Force of Negation, and I had like a big board and enough life, and with the Force of Negation in hand and like 1 card in their hand, there was like literally no way that they could win the game. And so they just like left and let the clock run down. And sometimes like the worst people who do this they know how much time that you're allowed before you time out, and they come back like 10 seconds before that and pass priority just in case like I assumed that he was going to time out, and maybe I like go and practice the piano or something, and then I would time out, right? So like not just not just wasting 10 minutes of my life, but like trying to do me dirty, like on the flip side of it. So when like 3 minutes into the attempted like timeout business, I typed like, "Are you thinking?" Because like if you are, that's cool. But if you're trying to just like let your clock run, I'm gonna report you, just so you know. And he didn't respond for a few minutes, and I said, okay, like going to report you now, and then like went and did it, and then came back and said, okay, that's done. And when the guy came back to try to get me, like if I wasn't paying attention, he like read what I had wrote and was like pooping his pants, I guess. So he was like, "You were playing slow all game." He was like, "How do you know I don't have a slow internet connection?" And I was like, "Well, you were playing pretty regularly the whole time, and then as soon as I got into a winning position, you just like happened to time out." You didn't even time out. It's not like he disconnected. He just went to make a sandwich or something. Anyhow, I told him like that he should try to be a better sport, and at the end he said like, "You suck." And then I reported him again for abusive language. And so hopefully that guy got a nice little break from Magic Online. I'm going to fill up my water. Kind of unfortunate that I lost that first round against Ponza so like helplessly. Just had poor hands, got crushed by Blood Moon. Opponent had the nuts. Because the other games have all been very interesting, I think. The black-red mid-range matchup with Croxa, and then obviously Tron, and then beating Storm 2-0 is pretty awesome also. I don't know if you're asking if I'm going to participate. This hand is good enough. I can keep this. Opponent's mulliganing to 6. I know the Modern Challenge is like I work all day on Sunday teaching, and Saturday is like my day off, so I don't like to sit at the computer all day playing Magic on Saturdays. So I haven't really been playing. I've never played a Modern Challenge before. All right, well, this is obviously Burn. If I can draw some Uros, we'll be like super well situated, particularly with the Ephemerate. But we're gonna have some nice chump blocks. I can play this Temple Garden tapped on my first turn. Cryptic, super heavy, but we can get like a tapped Hallowed Fountain or something. We'll see how it goes. The worst is probably like a Eidolon. That's a card that can just steal the game from us. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. I'm gonna hate that card. All right, well, I mean, we have to try that. Try to hit an Uro. We can ephemerate the Uro, try to sort of claw our way into it. Get a Skyclave Apparition and some lands like that. That's pretty nice. Now, ephemerating is a little sketchy. We will want to turn Cryptic Command on, but we have weird lands for it that are just going to hurt us. I can't take 4 life off of an ephemerate, but let's see what they do on their turn. I might have to take 2 here and then get like another snake down and try to double block the Eidolon or something. I mean, they're always going to have a bolt or like a blaze up or something. I could try to ghost block, but again, it just takes, it costs me so much life, and I'd really prefer to just get like a tapped shock land here with blue. A second Eidolon, huh? Interesting. That's wild. Okay, that's a basic. That represents another basic island. So, does that help us? I can tap their team, bounce one of their Eidolons, cast a couple of snakes, take 4 damage. I'm just going to pass the turn. I might have to chump block a little bit, see what they cast, maybe counter something. Hopefully let them cast some spells and take a nice amount of damage off of their own Eidolons. Like, I mean, are you going to like Searing Blaze my Coiling Oracle? Should I tap these guys down now? I could chump, and then, but what am I doing even? It's just so difficult. I think I need to tap their team down. I don't even know how I win here. Bounce an Eidolon, make them take 2 life. Like tap and bounce one of them. But then I'm still stuck. I don't know, guys. I was kind of like hyped when they mulled to 6, but double Eidolon is kind of absurd. I mean, let's say that, like, look, if they attack with Eidolon, block with 1, block with this guy, take 2, counter whatever they cast if they cast anything. Now I've got 4 things in the graveyard, 5 with Windswept Heath. I could potentially get an Uro on the board, but it would take a little while. I'm still losing 1 life net for every Uro I cast. Alright, let's say I tap them down right now, draw a card. Go to 10, play a snake, lose 4 life. Play another snake, lose 4 life. I'm at 2. try to block some snakes. I mean, some Eidolons. I don't even know, guys. This is so rough. Let me tap them and draw a card. I mean, Time Warps could be decent because they don't get pinged by Eidolon. I drew another snake. So now, okay, I can't cast any spells. Awesome. I'm not strictly just dead yet, so I won't just scoop. I'll pass and I'll chump, and we'll see how it goes. I have another Cryptic in the deck. I mean, this is as like much of a lock as Burn can get. It's so unfortunate. I think I was on the draw, if I'm correct. All right. So unfortunate. I'll give the opponent the GG. That's got to feel good on the Burn player's side. Bring in some paths, bring in the purges, bring in the worship. For those of you who don't know, worship against Burn is almost a lock because you can just cast spells into Eidolon and it won't kill you as long as you have a creature on the battlefield. I think Time Warp is too expensive. Cryptic is too expensive in general. Soulherder is too fragile. Man, I said GG after that game and the opponent's not even returning it. People have the worst manners on Magic Online. Keeping the hierarchs in, even though they're weak. Of One Mind could be a little bit of a liability. Take those out. We're not really digging for the combo anyway. Resto could be expensive, but she's a great blocker. Doesn't die to bolt. Can save a creature. Teferi's good enough, I think, and particularly on turn 2 off a hierarch, I think. All right, I mean, run it back like that, and jeez. I mean, we're going to keep this on the back of Uro and all these fetches, basically. A little bit of defense with a turn 2 Gust. Hope we can get the opponent on a fetch. Opponent's mulliganing to 6, but they mulliganed to 6 last time as well. So we can't get a basic plains with this because it'll make it impossible to escape Uro. So we've got to get either green or blue. Probably get blue, white, and then green here. Rift Bolt, okay. Teferi's great against Rift Bolt. We go blue, white. Okay, we can Gust like an Eidolon next turn or something. Resto, maybe pretty good. Doesn't get pinged by an Eidolon, as I mentioned. I think green is just fine this turn. I mean, do you think Meddling Mage is good in this matchup? I don't think Meddling Mage is good in this matchup. It's like 8 different spells that can kill the Meddling Mage. I imagine the opponent would put this on the top since it just won them game 1. Unless they have another one in hand and they just don't really think it's necessary. They went top. Okay. Hierarch is pretty cool. We can actually play that. So I'm going to get blue, cast Uro, and then get green and play a Hierarch. All right, we've got enough cards in the graveyard already to escape Uro next turn. And we've got Force back up here, so if the opponent just goes for Eidolon, don't know that that's going to get the job done. Although these burn decks do bring in like Path to Exile, which would be like rough, but we do have the Force. So let's go for this Uro right now. I mean, if they have a Path to Exile in hand after the double Eidolon in game 1. Subdual? I don't understand. Sorry. Subdual removal? So, yeah, we're just sitting behind Force here now. All right, we didn't get Pathed right away. So we can try to protect the Uro. We're in a pretty good spot. It's turn 4 against Burn. We're at 17 life. One cracking the Bloodstained Mire like they have something to do with all this mana. Searing Blaze on Uro. I think we let that resolve, and then we just counter their bolt or whatever. Just card advantage is important. I'm going to take 3 damage from that, but it's all good. This is going to be yeah, Skewer. I saw that coming. Sorry, opponent. Yeah, that's the concession. I don't think I understand still Mystic subdual? What is a subdual? Oh, do you mean like the word subdue? Like you're trying to subdue Mystic Sanctuary decks? No, I don't think. I think that against Mystic Sanctuary decks, Ashiok is really, really good. Got some answers. All right, so we got game 2 against Burn. We were on the play, of course. Opponent's going to be on the play this time. Just very rough for us. They had that Eidolon again, which is always difficult. I think 2 forces is about where I want to be. Could go up to 3. We do draw a lot of cards. Just need to counter like an important spell here or there. What would I cut? Maybe Teferi on the draw is a little bit slow. Trim a Teferi, bring in a force. Seems better. And we'll run it back, see how it goes. All right, so 1 game to decide the whether I'm 4-1 or 3-2 in this league. Being on the draw against Burn, definitely a massive disadvantage. They're starting with 7 in hand. We've got the Purge for their stupid Eidolon, so I'm going to keep this. We'll play this tapped on turn 1, get a forest. Oh, this is going to be like a Goblin Guide. They've got like the explosive creature heavy start. The creature starts are like so hard to beat. All right, bring the beats, opponent. Shields down over here. Yeah, why not? So I'm going to pass the turn, see if they cast spells with the Eidolon on the battlefield. All right, we're just hanging on. I'm gonna play this to get a basic forest, and then I might get a basic plains so that I can potentially go like snake ghost block the next turn. But for now, Celestial Purge is the star of the show. I'm going to try to like F2, F2, F2 to make it seem like I'm F6'd. So like goes fast through the opponent's. Well, hang on. Want it to seem like I'm, okay, they suspended a Rift Bolt. Go to block, see if we can get them to cast another spell. Okay, they're doing it. Love it. Now, the reason I'm doing it like this, if it's unclear, is to try to get them pinged by their own Eidolon. They're going to cast that lightning bolt sooner or later, you know? This will, of course, ping me. But now, we're going to go down to 10 after taking this damage. We do have that ghost block line that I discussed previously. All right, I mean, hanging on. Gotta hope that Burn is chilling on like a bunch of lands. Bunch of lands. Here we go. Oh, they have this stupid Rift Bolt. I don't know, guys. No Uro in the picture. Opponent with 3 cards in hand. Stupid Swift Spear. No Death Touch. You know, it could just be one of those games where they just have all the gas they need. Jesus Christ, Eidolons, stop it. Now this Ephemerate is just garbage. I need to get the snake down now and hope that they don't have anything. Next turn, I've got like Resto to try to get around whatever. But I mean, this is just almost game over. I can go like Eternal Witness, get back Purge, but I'm at 7 life already. Oh my goodness, that is a game changer. Okay, but of course they can just kill the snake if they need to. I can try to protect it, but I'm gonna be tapped. It's my only creature. This is like why it sucks being on the draw. So I am going to take some damage here from the Swift Spear. I mean, if they can untap and just kill my Coatl, it's just lights out, but it provides some measure of hope. What if I block and take 2 on this Ephemerate, and then just don't catch the rebound, so I stay at 5 life. Oh, but I need to crack this Windswept Heath. So basic planes, go down to 6, block and Ephemerate. If they have the removal, they have the removal, and I'm kind of wrecked. I think I have to go for it. Like, there's no reason to not draw an extra card here that I can see. I'm going to take 2 from this or from this, potentially more from the Sunbaked Canyon. Like, bolting me. I think the opponent's F6'd. No, they're not. Okay. Oh my god, this is so annoying. What is this? At the beginning of each player's upkeep, it deals 1 damage. So I can take 1, play this, go to 1, and they have 0 cards in hand. If I get to untap, okay, all right, I think I'm alive. I'm not casting the rebound on Ephemerate. So I'm going to take 1. I'm going to say okay, and then I'm going to say no. I'm going to play my stupid chalk land. Okay, guys, I'm going to play Ephemerate, and you know, it's all down to top decks now. All down to top decks. I could be golden if the opponent draws like 2 lands. They have this Sunbaked Canyon as a redraw. I might as well attack. Because I'm dead to anything. Dead to anything. The reason this is so clutch here is I get to untap and play like Blade Splicer, make 2 more creatures. And then hold up Ephemerate. Come on, opponent. Don't understand how worship works. You don't understand how it works. Right? Oh. Wait, they don't understand how it works. Oh, wait, I'm going to take damage from that. Oh, wait, no. I could get down Resto. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. What? Resto around the Eidolon. Oh my goodness, guys. Now, 1 spell doesn't just kill this thing, and they're going to die to their own thing soon. Wow. I'm like starting to shake a little bit. All right. I guess Path does us in? Or like running like bolt or something? Oh my god. Come on, baby. Let me untap, please. Oh my god! That is absurd. I'm not like so stoked that I got the 4-1. I'm just so stoked that I won that game. That was crazy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Let's draw some cards. So, all right. Opponent didn't have it, and they scooped because they must know that I'm going to play more creatures next turn. Path, Ephemerate. Oh, my God. Oh. Restoration Angel. Getting there. If that were the new Angel, it also would have been pretty clutch, having that flash creature that plays around Eidolon. Jeez, wow. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes, that's completely correct. I guess they don't have what it takes to stop the Restoration Angel or kill me, kill the worship. So yes, I attack, they get pinged by the Vortex, of course. Right, but it's their turn right now. So I guess what Kale is saying that comes back. Oh, I guess you're saying if I should have attacked. No, I think the reason they scooped is that they don't have an answer and they're just dead to resto attacks on my next turn. So, yeah. So that's why they scooped it up. I honestly, like, when I'm in this situation, I'm so focused on my own life total. Also, if they cast spells, right, they're just dead anyway to their own Eidolon. They're going to go to 2 and then be dead to the resto without even caring about the Roiling Vortex. Oh my goodness. That was like the most exciting game of the whole league, and it just happened on like the last of the last games. I'm gonna go through that. Oh, there's my wife. I'm gonna go through the replay of that real quick because that was just so sensational. If you guys are over it, you can just head out, and thanks very much for joining me. But sometimes when a game is just so nice, I do like to look at the replay. All right, so let's see. Kept the 7. Opponent kept their 7. They're on the play, right? They cracked their Arid Mesa. Basic. I love their mountains too. It's like Rebecca Gay. Beautiful. Like, just such nice colors. All right, Swift Spear starts the beats. I commented that getting their creatures down early is usually like the hardest opening to resist. So, we played our land tapped. Opponent went, I think, for the Eidolon on turn 2, right? Just because it got us so good in game 1. Okay, so getting in another attack, just little dinks with the Swift Spear. I played this with the idea that I was going to run out the snake in the following turn, get a basic, and then ephemerate. But I think after I purge, right? So I'm going to purge this thing, and then without getting pinged for all my spells, ghost blocking is actually a really nice option. But I think they followed up with another Eidolon. Right, so suspended the Rift Bolt. I acted. So this is another little thing on Magic Online. For any of you guys who are either new to it or looking for like little edge cases, little tricks, is if you pass priority like very rapidly, like you have nothing to do, it's going to incentivize the opponent to try to get prowess triggers like in their attack, right? So I tried to act like I had nothing, right? Passed to blocks, so there were going to be no snakes or anything like that. So we got a bolt out of the opponent's hand, which did ping them for 2 with their own Eidolon on the table still, right? So rather than taking the damage, going to the second main, and then hitting, like purging the Eidolon, then they get a free lightning bolt that doesn't hit them for 2 damage, right? Every point matters against burn, both like your life total and the opponent's life total. You have to remember that the Eidolon is a symmetrical tax, and when the card was spoiled, actually, like people thought it was like the stupidest card. This was like in Theros block, and eventually red mages started playing with it more and more, and just realized it was kind of nutty, actually really, really strong. Like if you get out ahead, like in game 1 with a bunch of burn spells, you can lock the game out by just putting a couple of Eidolons on the table. So anyhow, they are in turn 3, getting in. We took 2 for this. We're going to take 2 from the Swift Spear, go down to 10. I believe. Okay, so we're setting up this Ghost Block turn, but I think the opponent just untapped and played a second Eidolon, which very rough for us. We also took 3 from this Rift Bolt. Opponent gets this Eidolon, have to cast the Ice Fang here. Drew the Worship, super clutch. Gave us the information we needed to sort of calculate how to navigate this situation. All right. So getting in, obviously, with the Swift Spear, and I realized here that I'm going to take damage from the Swift Spear either way. If they have a bolt in hand, I'm sort of screwed anyway, just because we need a creature on the board for worship. Yeah, absolutely did. I was totally out of this game, like 100%. Worship created like a really, really narrow window of possibility. It extended the life of the game effectively. So block here and go for the Ephemerate. If they have removal for my creature and they want to use it to counter the Ephemerate, they could do it now. They would take more damage from their Eidolon. It's like the least of their concerns at the moment. But this put me down to 4. I did only have a Shockland in hand. I had another Shockland in hand, so I'm sort of effectively at 2 here. Opponent played a land. Paid 2 mana to play Roiling Vortex, which does exactly 1 damage to me. It's just so insane. Down to 1. Well, down to 3, and then no rebound. Plotted it all out. We've got a shock to go to 1. Worship down. Attack because we're not blocking. Opponent, this was a misplay by the opponent, I think, right? Like, they could have killed me, but they messed up. They should have just killed the Ice Fang Coatl and then attacked for the win. I think what they did was, oh no, wait, yeah, they should have killed the Ice Fang, but what they attacked. They did no damage, which was just ridiculous. And then, oh, did they have? Okay, then they skewered the Ice Fang afterwards. Like, and okay, so they did no damage. I thought, and then full price. This is so bad out of the opponent, because I guess they thought they were being cute or something, like kill the Ice Fang and then I would be dead. Either to try, if I try to flash in another Coatl, I would die to the Eidolon. But having the Angel in hand and the opponent just not killing it during my during their main phase gave me a shot. Yeah, they played super wrong. But man, this resto is so good. I thought I was dead for like 3/4 of a second, and then I saw the Restoration Angel. Oh God, it's so clutch. What a game that was. Shows that human error is like a really, or just skill, I guess, is super important in Magic, right? So what did the opponent do there? They drew the card with Sunbaked Canyon. They drew another card with Fiery Islet, and then just scooped it up. Oy. That was insane. So super awesome. We got the 4-1, pretty sweet. Continuing the overall run of good form with the deck. If you guys have any insight, observations about how certain cards performed, Teferi bounced a Croxa at least once against Black-Red. That was quite nice. Of one mind, I think when I was playing against Storm, maybe, I played like a Coiling Oracle and on turn 2 and was just trying to hit, I thought, like a Hierarch or an Ephemerate. But I drew into Of One Mind, and I had the Hierarch left, so I had Hierarch and Coiling Oracle and 1 mana left, so I was able to just, for 1 mana, draw 2 cards, and that's like a classic turn 2 line in this deck, is turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Snake plus Of One Mind, and you just like significantly ahead after your second turn. Blade Splicer didn't do very much this league. You guys didn't get to see it perform too much, and honestly, I don't know. It's sort of on that edge where it could potentially get replaced. I think most of the Soulherder community thinks that it's a little bit Timmy-ish, not necessarily like an optimal choice. I know some people would probably say, well, you need to play 4 Skyclaves before you play even a single Blade Splicer. And while that may be sort of strictly true, I've been in situations where Skyclave is not just always amazing. Like against a deck like Heliod Company, you want to have 4 Skyclaves, but against Tron, you certainly don't. And against some decks with a bunch of removal, I mean, Skyclaves, like if you have multiple Skyclaves and the opponent manages to remove them, and now they're sitting there with a bunch of 3/3s, it's put me in some pretty tight spots in the past. I could see trimming a Splicer, going up a 3rd Skyclave. I could also see, I wouldn't trim creatures. Like, for example, I wouldn't bring Paths in over like a Blade Splicer. I do like having a little bit of an aggressive angle as a potential avenue to victory. I played against Heliod combo the other day, and they started with a turn 2 Hushbringer. They played a turn 2 Hushbringer that says that creatures entering or leaving the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. And obviously that just shuts down all of our deck. And I didn't draw any of my paths, and obviously Skyclave is just shut off. So what happened was I just played a Soulherder, and every single turn it just blinked my creature, and it went from being a 1/1 to a 2/2 to a 3/3 to a 4/4 to a 5/5 to a 6/6. And they couldn't deal with the Soulherder, and it just attacked every turn. I had eventually like a Hierarch or 2 down, and it was getting exalted buffs, and they were getting put in a position where they had to like chump block my Soulherder, and I was getting no value out of it. It was just growing so big. There's definitely something to be said for having some kind of an aggressive option in your deck. Now, I could see the argument that I'm trying to spread my strategy too thin. Like, I shouldn't be being like an aggressive deck and a controlling deck and a combo deck. Maybe it's just too much. But, you know, Blade Splicer has won me some games in spots that pretty much no other card would have done. Like, playing a Blade Splicer and casting like 2 Ephemerates and then catching the rebounds, making like 5 3/3 golems, can even basically like shut down like a field of the dead that's live. Like, we're going to keep catching those Ephemerates if we have an Eternal Witness, and they just can't attack into those 3/3s. So there are just some sort of niche situations where the card is significantly better than I think people understand. I think that I'm sort of sold on the Angel. When we played against Tron, you guys saw like they had a whole bunch of Oblivion Stones, and imagine that they played the first Oblivion Stone. I just keep building my board. Eventually they crack the Oblivion Stone. I flash in the Glorious Protector, which I can bring up for you guys again. Flash in the Glorious Protector, tuck away the entire team, including an Eternal Witness. The Oblivion Stone resolves, Glorious Protector dies, Eternal Witness and all the snakes come back. I draw 1,000 cards. Eternal Witness gets back the Glorious Protector, and we just continue attacking. We continue having protection against any kind of wrath. And, you know, in corner cases like against Burn just then, where I needed a 4-drop with Flash on my upkeep to not die to Eidolon and to have a creature on the battlefield before I died to Roiling Vortex with Worship out. I mean, Flash is amazing in our deck. For those of you who maybe don't play it as much as I do, being able to pass with mana up, particularly with like Cryptic Command in the deck, obviously Force of Negation. We love having the snakes so that we can sort of choose, do we want to force? If not, we can flash in a snake, maybe cast an Ephemerate. More Flash is just more better in this deck. So I'm kind of stoked to play with this card. Tron is such a hard matchup for almost any build of Soulherder, maybe the Avalanche Rider build being the exception to that. It's always still a fight, though. You need to really draw those Avalanche Riders. But having protection against board wipes, or just spot removal with Glorious Protector, or just flashing it in as a nice flying beater that you can ephemerate in a pinch to do cool things, right? Save a creature from a lightning bolt, save your board from a Supreme Verdict, or from, again, an Ugin. Super flexible, got flash. Nice body, doesn't die to lightning bolt. Pretty stoked on that card. So any of you guys have any observations? I think Mystic Gate was actually pretty sensational in this league. I think I'll stay on the 1 planes for the time being with the Singleton Mystic Gate as well. 21 lands with 4 dorks has just been really consistent. I'm loving the of 1 mines. Force is just a staple. We have enough blue cards to support it. I've been just more and more impressed with Cryptic Command. It's so flexible. We did win a game by locking Tron out of casting spells with Cryptic Command. And, Uro, you can't cut Uros. So for me, the cards that are closest to being trimmed, probably 1 or 2 of the Blade Splicers, even though I think I've already said enough times that I like the card. I'm not going to trim the Soulherder, honestly. I could go up to a second Soulherder at this point. It dies sometimes, like to a 1 mana removal spell, which doesn't feel good, trading a 3 mana creature for a 1 mana removal spell. But it can also just be the best creature on the board and really put an opponent in a difficult spot. I mentioned in the earlier deck tech when I started tonight's stream that the plan of this particular build is to get out a turn 1 Hierarch, power out a 3-drop on turn 2, or just go Snake of 1 Mind, but really get out your lands, get a powerful 3-drop like Teferi or Soulherder or Uro or Blade Splicer or Skyclave on the battlefield on turn 2. Keep ramping. You got your Oracles, your Uros, and then start casting Cryptics and Time Warps. You guys saw enough of the deck in the 5 matches tonight. So I have to say this is probably the most fun build I've played with, Ephemerate and Soulherder. For me, having the combo as an option, even just getting value extra turns with Time Warp has won me games. Like, if the opponent attacks and now they're tapped out, they think, oh, he's just getting in with the Eternal Witness, right? I'll get in with the Eternal Witness, play a Time Warp, maybe play a couple of Hierarchs, attack with the Witness for 4, Ephemerate, get back Time Warp. It's just even though I don't have the Ephemerate, just the extra turn, attacking for 4 more damage, that kind of stuff has won me games before. So I love having things like Time Warp. It's just weird, right? Like, having a weird deck like this that actually can 5-0 leagues. It's ideal for me. I love the flexibility. Plays a lot of powerful spells. I can't just say it's a bunch of garbage spells thrown together, but it looks pretty mishmashy, right? If you just sort of glance at it. Well, anyhow, I'm starting to carry on now. It seems like you guys don't have too many comments about the composition of the deck. Sideboard was pretty clutch. I think we brought in every single card at one point or another. Oh, we didn't see Mill. I consider the Gaia's Blessing at this point to be like a sideboard tax. It might be a little undisciplined. Maybe it's better to lose to Mill once a week or once every other week and just have a better sideboard card in here. But man, I just hate losing to Mill, and I love just crushing them with Gaia's Blessing. So I think I'll probably just keep Gaia's Blessing in for now. Every time I take it out, literally the first deck I get paired against is always Mill. Well, anyhow, Hodrat, it's great to see you, Kale, Freedy, Tartan Scarfman, Bison. It's my first stream in 3 or 4 weeks. Been away from you guys, but I'm back now. I'll probably be streaming next on Thursday afternoon. I'll be playing this deck again, so if you want to see some more, join me on Thursday afternoon. If you're not following me, please go ahead and do that. It helps support the channel. You can subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime. If you're interested in that, it helps me out a little bit financially. Of course, obviously just helps the channel grow. And again, it doesn't cost you anything. If you have Amazon Prime, you can just link your accounts, give me a free subscription. So until Thursday, I hope you guys have an excellent couple of days. Hope you play some fun Magic, and you stay safe. So I'll see you guys soon.